Okay, good morning, Algebra. So just get your notebook set up. This is the first page, so pause it for your notes. Okay, you're back. And then just add the next. You might be able to fit it on one page, but I doubt it. So I'd make that your second page of your notes. Pause and do that now. All right, so you should be back, and we are on the first page. Okay, so you need that graphing calculator ready. I wrote that in the instructions. So I'm giving you a table of students' age and hours of electronics. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. The first few questions is the median, the mean, the range. Those are all of the number of hours. So the median of the number of hours, which is this column, the mean of the number of hours, which is still this column, and the range of the hours, which is still this column. So I'm just going to type this column into list 1 and find one variable stats because I'm just going to focus on that one column. All right, so let's take our calculators, and when you're entering data, you put stat, number 1, edit. Let's clear out list 1, so you hit clear and arrow back down. All right, and we're just going to put in 14, enter, 35, enter, 40, enter, and 42, enter. Okay, now we're just going to calculate one variable stats because I want the mean of this, the median of this, and, well, the range we'll figure out after. Okay, so stat, calculate, number 1, one variable stats because it's just one list. And here's the information. Okay, so this top number here, this number here is your mean. When you see the X with the bar over it, that's your mean, that's your average. This is the sum of the data squared. You don't have to worry about this, okay? But this is how many pieces of data, just 4. And then we're going to arrow down. There's your minimum, your quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and your max. And remember, median is the same as quartile 2. Okay, so here's all this information. So let's look at the questions now. Find the median number of hours. So look at your calculator, pause, and answer that. Okay, median is right there, so it's 37.5. So your answer would be 37.5. Okay, next question. Find the mean hours, number of hours. Okay, think about where that is. Pause and do that. Okay, you're back. So the mean is that top number with the X with the bar over it. That's your mean, that's your average. So it's 32.75. So you'd put 32.75. The range is actually not on here. The range, if you remember from 7th grade, is the highest number minus the lowest. So it's the highest minus the lowest. So it's the max minus the min, all right? But you can look right on here. It is 42, take away, make sure that's the highest, which it is. Take away 14, the highest from least to greatest, okay? And 14 is definitely the lowest. So you would simply do 42, take away 14, pause and get that answer. And that would be 28. And there's that answer. Okay, now it's saying write the equation of the line of best fit if X is the student's age, so that's this column, and Y is the number of hours of electronics, that's this column. So I need 2 lists. This is going to be my list 1 for X, and that's going to be my list 2 for Y. So you go to your calculator, you go to stat, enter and edit. Let's just clear this out because we're not focusing on that one list anymore. We're going to put this into list 1. So you're going to write 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay? And in list 2, we're going to write 14, 35, 40, and 42. All right, so I type this into list 1 for my X's and that for my Y's. There's 2 lists when you have an X and a Y. Okay, it's saying to calculate the line of best fit, which is also called the linear regression line. Okay, line of best fit, also the linear regression line. And let's see where we get that. So we go to stat, we go to calculate, and you're going to pick number 4 for linear regression. And you enter list 1, yes, list 2, yes. Just keep entering, and you get to here. Okay. So the A is your slope. So we have mx plus b, they use A, and your b is right here. So you would have 8.9 and negative 87.4. So your equation would be y equals 8.9x minus 87.4. Okay, that's your slope and that's your y-intercept. And that's that equation. Okay, find the average of the number of hours, the average. I just put that in there to remind you the average is the same as the mean. So let's go up to the mean. Same thing, right? Average and mean are the same thing. And for the mean, it's 32.75. So it's the same answer, just in case a question like that comes up on your homework. Okay, find the correlation coefficient between the age and the hours. So that's when you have in your two lists. The R is your correlation coefficient. I didn't say it, but let's round to the hundredths. So the R is 0.89. That is your correlation coefficient. Now, if it's above the 0.7 mark, it's a strong positive correlation. Okay, let's just make a little note. So this is strong positive, all right? Strong positive because it's a positive number and it's close to 1. So once you hit that 0.7 mark, that means you have a strong one. So this would be something that would show there is a correlation between the age and the hours on your electronics. It's actually a strong correlation. Okay, now on here, this R might be missing on yours. So I'm going to show you how to get it off and get it back on so you could see how to get this correlation coefficient. So do this with me. Hit second, and above 0 is catalog. That gets you anything you need from your calculator. Okay, this A means the alphabet is on. Just like your cell phone, you can hit D because we want diagnostics. So look at the alphabet in green. A, B, C, D. So we want to hit that one. That's your D. It drops down to the D's. You go down until you get diagnostics. There's off and there's on. So I'm going to turn off. Done. Make sure it says done. I'm going to go to stat. I'm going to go to calculate it. I'm going to go to number 4 like I just did. List 1, list 2. And see how it's gone. You only have the slope and y-intercept. So if you want it on, you go to second, catalog, above the 0. Drop down to those D's, D. And you go down and you turn it on. Enter, enter, done. So when you go back to stat, calculate, stat, calculate, number 4. You could just hit the 4, but I'll just exaggerating it. Your R is back. So there's your R, 0.89. This way, in case today your calculator didn't show it, that's how you get it back on. Okay, so those are those answers. Next question. Johnny took 3 tests, and his average has an average of an 84. If he got an 80 and 90 on the first 2 tests, what did he get on the third test? Okay, so how do you find the average? You add the numbers and divide by how many you have. Right? Okay, so let's do that. We know about the 80 and the 90, but we don't know the third one. All right, and then we divide by how many we have. So there's 3 tests, 1, 2, 3. You divide by how many you have, and you get it. And he got an average of, we actually know the answer is an 84. And once you have an X, let's let X equal third test. Put that let statement. Okay? Now how do we solve this? Let's first add the 80 and the 90. All right, so that would give you 170 plus X over 3 equals 84. And you simply turn it into a proportion. So you just put that over 1 and cross multiply. So you do 3 times 84, and you get 252. So 252 equals, and then 170 plus X times 1, 170 plus X, minus 170, minus 170, and X equals 82. So therefore, he got an 82 on his third test. Okay, and that's that problem. All right, last one. This should be your next page of your notes. Okay, sorry about that. So the last page of the notes is here. Okay, so this is a piecewise function. The function that represents the paycheck amount, which is f of x, and x is the number of hours. So here's your paycheck amount, and this is the x that you get is the number of hours. So if you work between 0 and 30 hours, you plug your number of hours into here to figure out your paycheck. If you work more than 30 hours, you plug your number of hours into this x. So it depends on how many hours you work. So let's look at A. Find the pay amount when the employee works 22 hours. So you look at the 22 hours and you think, which expression am I going to plug into? So you would either plug into this one or that one. Since 22 is between 0 and 30, you're going to plug into this. So you're going to do 20x, and you're going to plug the 22 into there, and you get 440. So your paycheck would be $440. Okay. B, determine the number of hours an employee must work to earn a paycheck of $700. Okay, so you're getting the paycheck this time. So you're getting your Y, your answer. But you have to decide what your other side of your equation is going to be. So this is your answer equals, what's going to be the other side? This expression or this expression? Well, let's put the 30 into here because that's the most you can plug into here. 20 times 30 is $600. So there's no way to get anything over $600 from this section. So it must be this section. All right, so plug in the greatest amount here into here, which is the most you can plug into this is a 30. That gives you 600. Look at this amount and no, there's no way you can make 700 here. So you would make the 700 in this section. So you'd write that here and pause and solve it. Okay, you're back. So you get the 700 equals 25x minus 250 plus 200. 700 equals 25x minus 50. Add 50 to both sides. You get 750 equals 25x. Divide by 25, divide by 25. Do that math. And that gives you 30. So x equals 30. Okay. All right, so 30 hours would get you here, but this is x is greater than 30. This won't happen on your homework. This would actually be no solution. It couldn't work here, okay? But in here, it has to be greater than 30. It can't equal 30. So here you would actually write no solution because that's not possible. All right, it won't be that complicated, but that's how you do it. You do have to see if you could possibly get $700 here. You couldn't, it would have to be here. But then when you actually got your answer, you got an answer of 30, but you have to look at this domain here. It has to be greater than 30, so you would write no solution. Okay, we're going to be doing more of these. I know this is tricky, but do your homework today, and these problems will help you. Have a great day.